Sagittarius. Sagittarius suns are born from November 22nd through December 21st. This is our zodiac sign ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet that in astrology we associate with expansion, growth, optimism. It's a benefic, good energy. All right. So Sagittarius types, we've got a fire sign. I think of them as initially, you've got the archer, which is the centaur, shooting the arrow. I like to think of, I simplify it, it's just horses playing around, horses playing in a field with each other. Sagittarius energy does have this carefree, spirited, natural, authentic, genuine playfulness to it. There is they can be a little outspoken. They kind of say what they think many times. It can be crude even, or like a little lacking in refinement, so to speak. Like they're just really natural. But ultimately, Sagittarius is this personality type that's very optimistic. They're forward-leaning. They like to think about the journey. They like to think about the stories that they'll write on this journey. They want their fire sign, so they need new fuel and new experiences. They traditionally, this ninth house is the Sagittarius house. This has to do with travel and the wisdom of the world around us. So you have people who a lot of times are interested in self-help or like improving themselves, being authentic and true to themselves and not self-betraying and that kind of thing. In love and in romance with Sagittarius as well, because there's this natural approach they take to romance and sexuality. You can have someone who's quite libidinous in a sense, I suppose, but has a very healthy sex life. Someone who can be known as kind of like a player, but not like the way that maybe a Gemini or an air sign might be thought of as a player, where it's these mind games. It's more just they bounce around, and they have multiple interests, and they can spread themselves a little bit thinly sometimes. So that Sagittarius is something they can be known for. Your high-functioning Sagittarius suns, you're going to have someone who's genuine, open, authentic. They are growth-oriented. They're optimistic. They like to try new things. There's generosity there, like you have with a Leo. They're laid back. They've got an easygoing naturalness to them, even if it's someone really important, like a celebrity or something, or someone who you might think is really attractive and might be quite full of themselves. They'll have like a self-deprecating manner to them. They'll get it. They'll know that they won't want to feel like they're better than you, so they'll want to bring themselves to the same level as you because they want it to be fun and playful and have everybody, they've got this quality to them where they like to coach people and bring people up. So they don't want to bring you down. They want to, bring you up. They are thought of as the teacher, the guru, the guide. They enjoy spreading things around that they've learned, and they enjoy conversation. They've got a great sense of humor, and they give a lot of freedom in their relationships to their partner. They give it and they expect it in return. They have an optimism to them where they just trust that things will work out the way they're supposed to work out, and so they're open to that. Low-functioning Sagittarius. Now remember, this is when we're dealing with a pure Sagittarius. Let's say we had a perfectly pure Sagittarius. They can sometimes be overly optimistic. They take risks. They'll take some risks and gambles that could be a little bit, in hindsight, they might think, I should maybe have thought through that a little bit before being so spontaneous and jumping into it. They can be very go with the flow, like to go with the flow, where they can, unless they've got a lot of earth. If you've got a Sagittarius with a lot of earth in their chart, like on their moon, or an earthy placement for that Sagittarius sun, you're going to have someone that's pretty, they can have a hard time finding direction and focus, because this is a mutable sign after all. They can be sort of dreamers and have all these different projects that they're like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and they can't just like focus it all in one direction. They're the opposite of Gemini. It's a Gemini issue as well. They can be a little bit commitment phobic, because to be a wild horse galloping around, if you are pinned up in a corral, you're no longer a wild horse galloping around. So in order to make that make it work for them, they have to feel like instead of it being a corral that they're partnered with, that they're partnered with another wild horse that they're galloping with, So you're both free to go your own directions, but, you're ultimately going to come back together, because these are horses. They're a herd animal. They need each other, okay? That's Sagittarius. They also can be quite flirtatious. It's that generosity of spirit that they have to them. They can they just really enjoy the interchange between the sexes. So that can make partners who are prone to being jealous a little bit insecure or unsure. And then lastly, I would say they can be flaky. They can overpromise and underdeliver. That's kind of a Sagittarius, or someone who's got a strong Jupiter in their chart. That can be something that can happen. And when they promise it, they really mean it. They think they can do it. It's just they're not realistic sometimes with what they can actually accomplish. So they can get themselves in a little bind. Sagittarius is in love. They are natural, playful, ardent, passionate. They express their love very openly, authentically. They wear their heart on their sleeve. They're not complicated in their love nature. I dated a Sagittarius, triple Sagittarius, for 2.5 years, and it was wonderful. They are really open with their expression of love, whether it's through physical affection or just words. And there is again, it's that optimism. It's like this belief that ultimately the universe is benefic or something, and that things will all work out all right, or that they're benefic and that their intentions are benefic. So they assume the partners are as well. So they have the optimism and this eagerness for the love romance to sort of blossom, but they're simple too. They're pretty simple in what they want in romance. They really just want good sex, go do fun things together, spontaneity. Stopping them from doing something will be like, they won't like that. And that includes, if they're making sexual advances at you, if you're just like, oh, I'm too tired, they'll be, I don't know, boring. They won't appreciate that. Sagittarius expectations in love. They want a partner they can grow with. So this is everything from travel together, create a story together. If they've got a lot of water in their chart, they'll want to grow family together with you. They'll want to laugh. Like Sagittarius is more than any of the other signs, I think of laughter and jokes and just like crude humor. But they want a romance that is fun and playful and moving forward, and where there's a lot of freedom to roam about, as I said earlier. They also like a partner who is positive, has a good attitude, who is also forward-leaning. They don't want to have to clean up your messes. I mean, they will if they have to, but they really don't. They don't really love to have to do that. So they prefer a partner that's optimistic and happy and excitable and ready for anything. So Sagittarius' biggest fear, it would be similar to Gemini, I would say, except for it kind of comes from a different place. So Sagittarius is worried about being trapped. The thought of being stuck in a relationship where there's not the things that they need to feel passionate, excited, and like their life is growing and moving forward. If they feel like they've got a partner who's possessive, controlling, demanding, jealous, those are huge turnoffs. Someone who's emotionally really clingy and needs a lot of validation from the Sagittarius, that's quite different from the way that they're built, and they will feel like, why are you making a big deal over that? So their biggest fear is that, being stuck with a wet blanket. That doesn't sound like that'd be fun for any of us, but for Sagittarius in particular, they don't like this idea of being, it's like those wild horses being stuck out in a rainstorm or something. They're just like, oh, get it. Where's the shelter I can hide under? Get me away from this rain, So you'll put out their fire quickly. So their fear is being trapped. Let them know they have long, invisible reign that they can run as far in any direction as they want, as long as they come back. Barn happy. Remember the saying of a barn happy horse. Horses like to leave the barn, but they almost always, if you're riding horses, they gallop back to the barn rather than wanting to walk, because the barn's where it's warm and there's food and there's water and, sugar cubes. So just keep that barn filled with all of those good things, and your Sag will be running back to you. Okay. If you're interested, if you really want to find out about the compatibility between you and your partner, you need to have an astrology reading done with an astrologer. The computerized reports are really cool, and you can order some great ones on astro.com. They're great for giving you an initial sort of step into the compatibility between two people and learning about synastry, but there is nothing like an astrologer going over your charts, because we look at first the individuals, and we look at the synastry together, the chemistry between the two people, which is very complex. I mean, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of possible, really there's probably millions of possibilities when we look at the synastry between two people. But we are focusing it on, these areas that are important and relative to romance and romantic compatibility, which a computer can't do. A computer's just databases of, aspects between two people, right? An astrologer takes these aspects, the zodiac signs they're in, the houses that they're in, sees all these patterns, this inner working, this mechanization of these two charts together, these two humans, these two blueprints, how they lock and key fit. And the astrologer is able to make some deductions that are much more enlightening than what you would see from a computerized report. So computerized reports are great. They're a good place to start, but most of them cost like 40, 50 bucks. You can get a reading with an astrologer. It takes 90 minutes where you can record it and listen to it over and over again. $189 is what I charge for my relationship readings. If you're interested in that, give me an inbox. You can go to my website. You can actually book an appointment right on my website yourself, get it all taken care of without even having to message me first. I've got my schedule up there. So very easy and a lot of fun. You do it via Skype or telephone or in person if you're here in Utah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you, and share with your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you like it. I try to get stuff up regularly because it's my passion to share astrology with as many people as possible. So thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye.